for 6 months. People feel still the earning is less, let's do some extra time. Saturday, Sunday also work. There. But Vedic time you work for 6 months, kheti badi or whatever work is, and 12 months you can eat. Okay. And use your life for higher spiritual purpose. So all associates of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would come. And then the associates of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would come. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would personally put chandan above them. Chandan on their face. And he will send Saru Damodar to and garland each every devotee. And every devotee comes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will tell them accommodation. Your accommodation Nilachal Yoga. Your accommodation Shiva Sagar. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will if my sound is not clear, yeah, it's better. Is my sound is good? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will put chandan and give the accommodation to devotees, whoever devotees are coming. So that was Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy and how. And all devotees, they're coming just for one purpose, to meet Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. See, Rath Yatra was going before also, but they did not came. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to Jagannath Puri, that time every year devotees started to come. Now, what is the significance of Rath Yatra? Why Rath Yatra is celebrated? How this person started? So the story comes in the Skanda Purana. In the Skanda Purana, so in the Puranas, it is given. You know the story how Lord Indru, King Indru, wanted to see Lord Nilmadhav. But Nilmadhav disappeared when Indru went over there. And that time, Indru started to very much lament. Oh, I missed the goal of my life. I cannot see Nilmadhav anymore. And that time, Narad Muni had come. And Narad Muni told, no, no, don't worry, you will see Lord Jagannath. In fact, you will bring Lord Jagannath. And therefore, there was a lot of Akash Muni. The voice from the sky came that please do 1000 Ashwamedh Yajna. And the completion of 1000 Ashwamedh Yajna, a hair from Lord Vishnu in Shvetadev appeared as a log of wood. And a log of wood was the hair of, which is the hair of the body of Lord Mahavishnu, the Garbhodakshay Vishnu. When it, Shirodakshay Vishnu, when it came, then again Akashmani happened. You should make it into 3 forms and 1 carpenter will come. And that carpenter was Vishkarma. So after the form one, and king was instructed to make a temple. So temple is made. Jagannath Baldar Subhadra's forms, they are ready, and they're kept outside, in another mandap there. But whom to call for installation? Like we want to call Prime Minister, President. Now if King Indru had to call, whom will he call? He himself is the President. He himself is the Prime Minister. Both President and Prime Minister role combined, and more than that, it's the role of a king. He was the Samrat. So then whom should we call? Is Brahmadev. But the problem is, to call Brahmadev is not so easy. To call President and Prime Minister is much more easier than calling Brahmadev. Because they are in a different time frame. So Narad Muni said, no, 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 I will take you and we will both go to Brahmaji and request Brahmaji. But by the time he went to Brahmaji, Narad Muni and Brahmaji went, so he was not allowed, only Narad Muni went. And Brahmaji was absorbed in hearing the Kirtan of the Lord. So Brahmaji's office, whenever Kirtan is going on, no phone calls. No phone calls, no emails, no WhatsApp, no appointments. Fully absorption in Kirtan. Because that time he was watching the performance of Lord's Kirtan. And when the Kirtan got over, that time the appointment started of Hindu Maharaj. And Brahmaji is asking, and all the Devatas also had come. Because suddenly Neel Madhav had disappeared. So even Devatas also were asking, what happened, Lord? No, what will happen? what will happen? And then Brahmaji told, don't worry, now Jagannath will appear in a wooden form. And then Lord Jagannath, you will get everybody's darshan. And Indu invited Lord Brahmaji to the Pran Pratishtha, the inauguration festival. And Brahmaji said, already a lot of years have passed by the time you have been waiting. So Indu went in first Manvantara and second Manvantara started. By the time he talked to Brahmaji, now you go back fastly and see, and none of your descendants are there. So still the temple is there. You should move the deities to temple. Meanwhile, you do it, I will come. Brahmaji told. And then Dev Maharaj came. And that's the time the chariots, 3 chariots are made to bring Jagannath Baldev Subhadra to Shri Mandir. And that's how this Pratha of Rath Yatra started there. And the Rathas, and the Ratha has a very special quality. Not a single nail is used in Ratha of Lord Jagannath. How many have seen the Ratha of Lord Jagannath? I think here devotees have not gone to Rath Yatra. Maybe sometime we'll go to Rath Yatra time. Over the last 2 years it was COVID, so nobody was allowed. So this year was, yesterday was Rath Yatra in Jagannath Puri. I don't know if some of you have watched the photos of Lord Jagannath. How many of you watched the Rath Yatra? Then, yeah. So how Lord Jagannath coming, beautiful, how he climbs, something, everything has great mystery in that. And so the Ratha does not have a single lane. Can you imagine? Whole Ratha is made of wood. Then you say, how do you fix the joint? With wood. And they start some 2 months before making the Ratha cart. One time we had gone in the month of June and Rath Yatra was in July. So 1 and 2, 3 months before they will start making the Rath. And the wood, after the Ratha is over, the wood be used for fire cooking for Lord Jagannath. And that wood and the whole Ratha cart is made, with the just without a single nail, the Ratha cart is made. Without a single nail in that. And how the Ratha will move and how it will happen. So that is something amazing. And when the Rath started from Shri Mandir to Gundicha Mandir. So now we'll see, go in the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So before that, Netrosav happened. In Netrosav, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was waiting to see Lord's darshan for 2 weeks' time. And those 2 weeks, nobody will get darshan of Lord Jagannath. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will go to Alalnath because he will not be able to feel separation from Lord Jagannath. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started to come. So yesterday we discussed Netrosav, how, and generally Netrosav happened one day before. And so much queue will be there to see Lord Jagannath. Very difficult that day because after 2 weeks, darshan. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu generally we take darshan from Garnul Sthaj. Only from Garnul Sthaj, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will take darshan. But this day, he went directly up to the Lord and took darshan. Because of love. So sometimes Maryada Ullanghana happened due to love. Now the next day, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got up early, attended to early morning bath, and Jagannath leaves his throne, and Pratapraja made a special arrangement for all the devotees to see Pandu Vijay. Now if you go very difficult, the seats are sold in 1,000 rupees, in the front of the hotels which are there, you have to pay 1,000, 2,000 rupees to stand there to see the whole festival. It's so rushed, lakhs of people come. In fact, now Kaliva time 50 lakh people came. in Jagannath Puri. So they made, they see over there. So Kataka Daita Kare Skandha Nambara, Kataka Daita Dare Shipadma Charana. While carrying the deity of Lord Jagannath, some of the Daitas took hold of the shoulder of the Lord and some caught his lotus feet. Kati Kate Banda Dena, Sula Patta Dori, Doi Deke Daita Gana, Dhayata Dhari. The Lord Jagannath deity was bound at the waist by a strong thick rope made of silk. From two sides, the Daitas caught hold of this rope and raised the deity. So how at the waist, Lord is bound by a rope, a thick rope made of silk. And from two sides, the Daitas caught hold of this rope and raised the deity. See now, Lord, to carry Lord Jagannath is not an easy thing. Why? He is as heavy as the weight of the whole universe. How can you carry the Lord? Like Mother Yashoda, see how the Lord Shakti works very amazingly. Though Krishna plays as the role of a small child. But when Mother Yashoda is binding, why Krishna is not getting bind if he's playing the role of a child? Because Krishna was thinking, if Mother Yashoda will bind me, how will I steal butter? And Krishna's Satya Sankalpa Shakti, knowing Krishna's desire, increased Krishna Aishwarya Shakti. Satya Sankalpa Shakti means any desire come in Lord's mind, it will get fulfilled. Even he is playing the role of a child. So immediately the Satya Sankalpa Shakti and the Aishwarya Shakti make sure the Lord not be bound by Mother Yashoda. They just showed Lord's opulence. That whole universe is in the Lord's belly. And when the Mother Yashoda was not able to bind, and every time it becomes 2 fingers too short. But when Krishna desired, my mother is so tired now, let me get bound. Then the Leela Shakti overpowered. The Karuna of the Lord overpowered, and Krishna is bound. Same way, when the Lord comes, even Lord Jagannath is there in the form of wood. But actually it's not wood. It's the Supreme Lord Himself. So if Lord desire, it will move. The Lord will become very light. Like Sakshi Gopal deity. Automatically came. It was very heavy deity, Sakshi Gopal. But when the Lord desires that it will not move, nothing can move it. There. So automatically Shaktis will work like that. There. So Lord Jagannath, to move him is not easy. And of course the wood is itself, the Lord, big form of Lord Jagannath, very, very. So they will take the Lord from the rope and take him. They will come one step ahead, one step back, one step ahead. There. So like this, the motion goes. How many have seen that motion? The Lord Jagannath, yes. And they will keep the Lord on pads. So you cannot just lift the Lord and bring it. You can just move him a little bit. Thing. You cannot just hold him and carry. You can just only move him little bit, little bit, little bit. So they will keep pads all over the way from the throne. And Lord will come, wait on the pad will crack, and it will have a cracking sound. Then the Lord will go and sit on another pad. It will have a cracking sound, and then cracking sound, then cracking sound, and finally Lord will reach the Rataka there. And the Daitapati say that one time one Maharaj asked, how you make them move, how you coordinate so nicely that Lord dances. Then they were saying, no, we don't coordinate, the Lord dances and He makes us dance. So Jagannath has a very special mood because Jagannath is going to Vrindavan. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say, Manima, Manima. And now in this pastime, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives mercy to King Prataprudra. So initially Chaitanya Mahaprabhu denied that I will not meet the king because he's a Vishay. And sannyasi should not meet a Vishay person. So I will not meet the king. So King Prataprudra had was very anxious to get Lord's mercy. Now, what softened Lord's heart when Lord saw this Pratapruta himself coming and doing jhadu before the Lord? Now, do you find king doing jhadu? In fact, Pratapruda's father, Purushottam Dev, had a fight because of this issue. Because he got engaged with the daughter of the king of Kachi. But when the minister came and saw that the king is doing jhadu, so he said, no, I will not give my daughter to a sweeper. And king had a full fight on that, which he lost. And then finally he took blessing from Jagannath Soja, and then the king got the mercy of Allah. Yes. So, and the king himself went, and that photo is there in Jagannath temple when you go, Krishna and Balaram fighting for answers. So King Pratapruta cleansing the road with a broom that had a golden handle. And till now there is a custom, till the time the king comes of Odisha. Now he is not king, but in a lineage king is there. Unless he comes and cleans it, sweep it, the Ratha will not move. So unless one receives the mercy of the Lord, he cannot understand the Supreme Personality of God or engage in his devotional service. The same way, when we do jhadu for the Lord, that's the time Lord's mercy will start revealing to us. See, in Kali Yuga, everybody thinks himself to be no less than a king. In Kali Yuga, everyone thinks himself to be a king. And there's a slogan also, live life king size. Everything in your button. Right? That's what people want. No? My own 2 BHK palace, my own 3 BHK palace, मैं और मेरी रानी. And all things are controlled in the smartphone. Okay? Everything, smartphone button, everything. So king means full enjoyment, full control, full proprietorship. And that's what is there. So in Kalki, everybody thinks himself to be king. And it's like king, you cannot say anything. So you say something to somebody, he gets very irritated, agitated. Why you said to me? How can you correct me? So everybody have a kingly ego there in Kali Yuga. So unless, but king when he did menial seva to do jhadu for the Lord, he became a recipient of Lord's mercy. So in the same way, when we do menial services for the Lord, clean the temple hall, wash the pots, so then what happens? Automatically the mercy of the Lord comes in our life. And therefore, menial services are very, very important to purify our heart. महाप्रभु का सुख पाइला ससेवा देखिते महाप्रभु रे कृपा पाइला ससेवा. Upon seeing the king engage in such menial service, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became very happy. Simply by rendering this service, the king received the mercy of the Atapite Deva Padam Pujantaya Prasad Lesha Viti Janati Tattvam Bhagavan Mahindra Nachana Ekapi Chiram Vichinva. See how they will carry, they will wind the Lord and Jhadu is doing the king. Of course, after Lord comes on the Ratha car, that time the king does Jhadu. रथेर साजनी देखी लोके चमत्कार नव हेम माया रथा सुमेरु आकार. So this Ratha is how Sumeru Akar, like Mount Sumeru, very big Rath. And 3 Raths are there, each Rath for Balram, Subhadra, and Jagannath. So just, I know some devotee was telling me once past time which happened that in Sri Rangam, ISKCON devotees were doing Rath Yatra. So the Lord came in the dream of Pujari. You know, myself and Subhadra, we are not getting space between each other till the make a better Rath. And then the Pujari told the temple president, and they made the bigger Rath. So the Lord is happy when he goes on the Ratha. See, just like how many of you now during COVID time, after COVID time, some yatra was declared. How much eager we were to go after COVID. So Lord whole year is in Sri Mandir. Right? But now he has a time to roam. And what is more special is he's going to Vrindavan. Gundika is compared to Vrindavan. Of course, they in Odisha they say Mausi ke ghar ja rahe hain. कहाँ आ रहे हैं? मौसी के घर, Gundika is there. But in a Gaudiya understanding, the Rath Yatra signifies at Kurukshetra, the Vrajavasis and the Dwarkavasis and the Hastinapur Vasis, all three met at Kurukshetra. And Draupadi was asking all the queens, how did you came to Krishna consciousness? Means how did you got married to Krishna? All the queens are asking. Just like they asked now how you came to Krishna consciousness. And each one of has a story now how we came to Krishna consciousness. That means we got married to Krishna. And Krishna is our, see, for a devotee, Krishna is called Satvatam Pati. He is the Pati for the Sadvatas, for the devotees. Satvatam Pati. So Krishna is the husband, Krishna is the father, Krishna is the mother. Tameva Mata, Pita Tameva, Tameva Bandhu, Saka Tameva. So Krishna is everything for the devotees there. So how we came to Krishna consciousness, that's for the journey of the queens. Because the queens what they think, rather than serving some materialistic pati, let me serve Krishna only directly. That what Rukmani Bhav was, that if I will not be of Krishna, I will at least not be of Shishu. I will give up my life and do tapasya lifetime after lifetime to attain Krishna. So before coming to Krishna consciousness, we were doing serving some materialist people. But after serving Krishna, when we become a devotee, we have no other goal than serving Krishna. We just want to serve Krishna. So how we came to Krishna consciousness? Like so Draupadi is asking how all of you came to Krishna consciousness. How did you all got married to Krishna? There. And proper writes in the purport that in Trafalgar Square, so the first Grand Rath Yatra happened in Jainantapur there. And each year, New York also Rath Yatra happens. And whole street is stopped for the Rath Yatra. Still in New York, and so many places Rath Yatra happen. And it's not easy. Even in London Rath Yatra, they get 5,000 people. Just showing the Rath Yatra there. So the Guardian photo caption is called Rath Yatra is traveled to the Nelson column in Trafalgar Square because the Rath was very big. In Kolkata Rath Yatra, there are three Raths. Kolkata Rath Yatra and Mayapur Rath Yatra. Mayapur also Rath Yatra happens. And Lord comes to Panchtattva Hall. Jagannath Brother Subhadra comes to Panchtattva Hall from Rajapur. 3 kilometer Rath Yatra happens there. And 3 Rathas are prepared. Of course, those Rathas are small. And Jagannathpuri Rathas are very big. And the 3 Rathas are prepared. The Lord come to there. And 7 days Lord will stay over there. In a Panchtattva Hall. And then the Lord goes back. And I think the back Rath Yatra is called Bavla. Someone is like there. So here also Jagannath temple is there in near Sarjapur. So there also Rath Yatra happened. They were saying 50,000, 1 lakh people were there in that Rath Yatra. And Kolkata Rath Yatra happens just in complete way of Puri Rath Yatra. The Lord will go, they will make a Gundicha, from temple, Albert Road temple, the Lord will go and they will have Gundicha. Lord will stay 7 days there. And Lord every day ISKCON program will happen. And the return Rath Yatra will also happen. So just traditionally it happens in Kolkata. Kolkata and Puri are very nearby. And Sata Sata Chushamara Darpana Puchana Upar Pataka Shode Chandoya Nirmaya. On the top of car were a neat and clean canopy and a very beautiful flag. The car were also decorated with silken cloth and various pictures. Many brass bells, gongs, and ankle bells rang. You see the three chariots are seen? Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra. There. So first, I think the chariot of Balram moves. Then Subhadra might, and then Jagannath's chariot goes. There. So devotees, whenever Rath Yatras will happen, I remember 2013, they will be staying before Jagannath chariot and wait when Jagannath will move in there. And very amazing, Jagannath is one deity, all other demigod worshippers also come. Devi worshippers also come because Subhadra Mai is there. And different people worship Jagannath in different forms. So Jagannath has attracted everybody. In fact, if you know this Gajavesh happened after Snan Yatra, what is significant? One time, one Ganesha worshipper came to see Lord Jagannath. But then he thought, oh, Lord Jagannath doesn't look like Ganesha, he was going back. Then a message was sent to him, I think some Panda came and said, hey, come, your Ganesh is there. And he saw Lord Jagannath in a Ganesha form. From that time, they are putting the Ganesha form, the Gaja form to the Lord after the Gajavesh, after Snan Yatra. There. Because Lord attracts everybody's heart. So all worshippers will come and worship Lord Jagannath. So there is no... All worshippers come and worship Lord Jagannath. And Lord begins his journey. The first car, Jagannath, Subhadra first car, Balram, Malka. And now what happens in 15 days? The Lord remains in a secluded place with the supreme goddess of fortune, with Lakshmi. So Lord was with Lakshmi. Nobody was coming to see. So intimate pastimes were going on. But now Lord leaves Lakshmi. In fact, there are pastime when the Lord goes. Hera Panchami day, the 5th day, when the Lord is in Gundicha Mandir, Lakshmi comes to fight. Mera piya ghar aaya. That way, please come home. And Lakshmi will come fighting to, dear Lord, you are my husband, what are you doing? You are at Gundicha, you should come to Sri Mandir. And Lord will say, no, my heart is in Vrindavan. There. And how that fighting will happen? The Pandas of Lakshmi and Pandas of Jagannath will fight with the sticks each other. And that's how that fighting they will show. And actually they will carry the Lakshmi Devi. So seek blessings of the Lord. So they will fight, and that beautiful passage will go on there. And Jagannath Puri is really a very mystical place where all this passage will happen. So now Lord takes permission from Goddess of Fortune, come out of the Ratha car. So Goddess of Fortune doesn't go in the Ratha car. Because Vrindavan who goes? Yes. See, Lord is looking so happy. Today we'll take the Lord to Ratha car. So, Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, so they are going and Lakshmi is not going to the car. So in Sri Mandir, it is said, when you take darshan of Lord in Gundicha Mandir, is considered taking 1,000 darshan in Sri Mandir. Why? We are taking darshan of Lord during the Ratha Yatra Kar or Gundicha Mandir is considered taking darshan in Vrindavan. And taking darshan in Sri Mandir is considered to take darshan in Dwarka. But in Dwarka, Krishna is in Aishwarya mood. Just like when all the Vrajvasis and the Kuruvasis, they met in Kurukshetra. So all the gopis and the Vrajvasis felt that we cannot love Krishna in a kingly form. We want to take Krishna in Vrindavan, where Krishna is in Natvar Vapu Vesh, wearing Varam Piram Natavara Vapu Karni Karnikaram. Yeah. So Krishna's Vapu, Krishna's form is something very, very special in Vrindavan. In fact, one time, Vasudeva Krishna saw Vrindavan Krishna and he got affected. Of course, Krishna is one, but his mood is different. So Krishna's Vraja pastimes in Vrindavan are more attractive than Krishna's pastimes in Dwarka. And there are Vrajvasis feel we are not feeling the same joy here. What we feel the same joy with you in Vrindavan. Here we feel too much Aishwarya. And our love gets weakened by seeing Aishwarya. And therefore they request Lord Jagannath to come back, and that is the significance of Rath Yatra. So why it is said that if you pull the Ratha card, you will go back to Godhead there. Because you are helping the Vrajvasis to take Lord Krishna to Vrindavan. And because you have done such important seva, you will be blessed. And that's why the pulling the Rath Yatra card is considered a great service. Sukshma Shweta Balupate Pulinena Saha Duyadike Tota Sava Yena Vrindavana. The fine white sand spread all over the path resemble the bank of the Yamuna. See, this Chaitanya Charitamrita is 500 years back, small stories. So that now you see is all street. You don't find any sand or something. But 500 years back, there were no shops either side, this side or that side. It was all balu. It was all sand was there. And Samudra was very near. In fact, some photos they show the Samudra also in the path, the mark. Some photos I've seen, they show the Samudra also. So Jagannath, Lord Jagannath will go and remember Yamuna, that he is going to Vrindavan. As Lord Jagannath brought his car, saw the beauty both sides, his mind was filled with pleasure. So there the pullers of the car were known as goddess, they pulled with great pleasure. The car sometimes went very fast, sometimes very slow. Sometimes the car would stand still and not move, even though it was pulled very vigorously. The chariot therefore moved by the will of Lord, not by the strength of ordinary person. And sometimes, most of the times, this year Rath Yatra happened, yesterday Rath Yatra completed or remained? Anybody knows? Completely? You saw? Okay. Anybody saw it? Anybody sure about it? Okay. So generally, okay. So generally, Rath Yatra only happens till Sandhya. When the sun sets, the chariot has to stop. The Vedic time, people won't travel in night generally. Even when Krishna was moving from Hastinapur to Dwarka, every day there was a separate stop at the night. And Lord will stop and all the people will do Aarti of the Lord and think the pair of troops will not move in the night. So in the same way, the chariot will stop in evening time. That's Sandhya will happen. And wherever it is, it will stand there only. And generally what will happen, Baldev and Subhadra will reach, but Jagannath will stay in between. Because by that time, see the whole process start morning 10 o'clock. But by the time Balram, Subhadra, Jagannath, they come and sit on the chariot, it will be 3 o'clock. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and the Rath Yatra starts 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Like in 2006 Rath Yatra I was there. The Rath Yatra happened in one day. One day only Lord pulled the reach Gundicha. But in 2013 when I was there in Rath Yatra, 12 and 13, it took 2 days. So one day, so first on what is called Pandu Vijay. Pandu Vijay is you bring the Lord, Pandi Vijay, you bring the Lord from the temple to the Ratha, is called Pandi Vijay. Same. When Lord reaches Gundicha Mandir, you take the Lord and bring the Lord inside. And that happens night 12 o'clock. I've seen that ceremony 2 times, 2-3 times. And night you have to, and you get a proper place in the shop, by paying 100 rupees, 200 rupees, and you can see the full ceremony. Night 12 o'clock it happens. And Lord's moving inside. Very, very special. It is Jagannath moving inside. And lakhs of people will be there watching, thousands of people will be there watching the ceremony, Lord moving inside, Lord coming out of the temple. And same happens during the Ulta Earth. The Lord Jagannath will come from Gundicha, the chariot. So now if the chariot reached yesterday, then Lord will enter in the night today. Not yesterday night. The Lord is tired. No? Aram se ek din ruk ke, then it will go. And if the Rath Yatra completed today, then Lord will enter Gundicha tomorrow evening. So it is always uncertain when Lord will reach. You can't predict it. There, when Lord will reach Gundicha Mandir. So this is how the schedule of Lord goes. There. And then, so the Rath Yatra completed yesterday, then Lord will go today night, 11 o'clock Pandu Vijay. And same way, here also we'll have a short Pandu Vijay. I don't know who are the drum. And these pandas will, beat the drum, there, for the panda's time, for the Lord's Rath Yatra.
Hare Krishna, one small question I have.
Yeah, questions I'll take at the end.
Okay.
So, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, now what is our main? Now just think, in this whole position, what service Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is doing and the devotees? When the whole Rath Yatra is happening, what is the main service of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and followers? Dancing, singing, dancing, and feasting. That the three services followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has there. So therefore, see, pulling the cart is also seva, and falling in footsteps of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the main seva is dancing in front of the Rath cart, singing for the pleasure of the Lord. And see, we find in Chaitanya Charitamrita organization. Sometimes we feel, Prabhu, why so much management and organization? Why can't we be spontaneous? Sometimes devotees have the question when they get too much of management direction. Of course, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also doing spontaneous management. So he made different kirtan parties. So the lead singer, so 4 parties he made. First Lord made 4 parties. So who was the lead singer? Govinda Ghosh. Who was the dancer? Vakreshwar Pandit. And see, each of these devotees are very special. Vakreshwar Pandit could dance non-stop for 72 hours. 3 days continuously dancing. Just think about it. And they have complete ecstasy of love of God, prema, what we say, these dancers. They're not just imitating. As if some bodily exercise they're doing for 3 days. They are actually in great bliss and absorption in the love for the Lord. Then Shivas was singing and Nityan Prabhu was dancing. Shivas Thakur is singing. And that's why you see all Bengali Vaishnavas singing. And Bengali Boli is also very sweet. There. And Sarup Damodar is singing, Advaita Acharya is dancing. Mukunda is singing and Haridas Thakur is dancing. Can you imagine? So Mukunda even will sing for, just think, if we are there hearing that dancing, singing, we'll go mad only. That was it. There. Everybody will be in so much ecstatic prema by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's dancing. So 3 Sankirtan parties. So first 4 Sankirtan parties were in front of the Ratha. Then 2 Sankirtan parties were on other sides, one side and this side. And the last Sankirtan party was at the rear end of Lord Chaitanya of the Ratha cart there. So 3 Sankirtan party dancer was Achyutananda and Shantipur Vasis were there. And dancer were Ramanand Rai and Satyaraj Khan, Kulina Gram Vasis there. And Narhari Prabhu and Raghunandan, Khanda party. So all they have come from different places. So total 7 parties were there. And how many people were there for Kartal, how many for Mridanga? Everything is very properly described in Chaitanya Charitamrita. That's why Kirtan party should be very organized, isn't it? To please Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, not a spontaneous. And 14 drums were there. Each party had two mridangas. Now, amazing thing is, all 7 parties were there. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was dancing simultaneously in all the parties. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was dancing simultaneously in all the parties. But what others were feeling? The Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dancing with us, not with others. How Chaitanya Mahaprabhu loves us. But only Sarva Bhattacharya and King could understand Lord's mystic potency. And when King told Sarva Bhattacharya, see, Lord is there in on the party, Sarva Bhattacharya, you have received the mercy of the Lord. त्रिभुवने भोरे उठे कीर्तने ध्वनि अन्य वाद्यादीर ध्वनि किछु न सुनि. When the Sankirtan resounded, it filled the 3 worlds. Indeed, no one could hear any sounds of musical instruments other than Sankirtan. Hari Hari, Jai Jagannath. And simultaneously the Kirtan was happening, in all the things. Means it was matching, the tune was matching in different parties. काशी मिश्र को हे राजा प्रभुरा महिमा Kashi Mishra kahe tumhara bhagya nahi सीखूं. When the king informed Kashi Mishra the glories of the Lord, Kashi Mishra replied, O king, your fortune has no limit. Because you understood, only you have got Lord's mercy, that's why you are able to see. राजा तुझ सेवा देखी प्रभु तुष्ट मना सहित प्रसाद पायला रहस्य दर्शन. So why king is able to see the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in 7 dancing, all 7 dancing parties? Others are not able to see. Only king could see. Why? King did the jhadu. So when you do the jhadu seva, menial services, then Lord's mercy will come in the life. Now 2 rahasyas. Lord Jagannath was stopping and enjoying Lord Chaitanya's dance. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu simultaneously present in 7 groups. And when the mercy Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the king could understand. Actually, there's a lot of reciprocation happening between Lord Jagannath and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which only few people could understand. So when Jagannath wants to see Lord Sri dancing, Jagannath will stop to see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's dance. And sometimes Lord will not move only, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will come, the devotees will put, then the Rath Yatra will move. Ratha cart will move. Otherwise it will not move. And there have been many cases, like one time, there's one great devotee, it's very famous devotee, he wanted to come for Rath Yatra, but somehow he could not reach on time. So Ratha stopped for him. Anybody knows the story of that king, some Muslim king's son he was? Salve. So this Salve was coming, he became a sadhu after losing the war. And then he was coming all the way from Vrindavan to Jagannath Puri to get darshan of Lord Jagannath. Yeah. And since he was from a Muslim background, he could not take darshan in Sri Mandir and Gundicha. So only way was to take during Rath Yatra. But he began late. So Lord stopped his Rath Yatra cart to wait for Salve. And the Ratha will not move, people will understand. Some great devotees coming to meet the Lord. That's why Ratha is not moving. There. So all these transcendental passages will happen. So although the king had been refused the interview, he was indirectly bestowed causeless mercy. Who can understand the internal potency of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? See, indeed the person who got it forward himself in the course of his transcendental pastime, it is Leela Shakti, knowing the intent of the Lord, made all arrangement. See, Lord wanted to give mercy to Prataprutra, but at the same time, because he was a king, he wanted to give distance. So Leela Shakti fulfilled that Lord giving mercy to Prataprutra. and proper lives, by His will things happen so nicely and perfect that they appear to be carried out automatically. Now in the now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu start praying to Jagannath. Namo Brahman Devaya Go Brahman Jagadhitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. So that's why we offer this prayer to Lord Jagannath, no? Whenever we pray obviously. We offer the Bhoga presences. Jayati Jayati Devo Devaki Nandana Vaso Jayati Jayati Krishna Vishnu Bhaktadipaha Jayati Jayati Nega Shamala Komanando Jayati Jayati Prithvi Bhaganashu Kanda. All glories unto Supreme Lord, who is known as Son of Devaki. All glories to Supreme Lord, who is known as Light of Vishnu, Dynasty of Vishnu. All glories, all glories, all glories. जयति जन्निवासो देवकी जन्मवादो यदुवर परिशस्वे दुर्गस्यं धर्मं श्रीसचराविधिनागना सुस्मिता शिमुखेना व्रजापुराणितेन वर्धयतामदेवम्. Lord Shri Krishna is He who is known as Jananiva, the ultimate resort of all living entities, and is also known as Devaki Nandan or Yashoda Nandan, the son of Devaki and Yashoda. He is the guide of the Yadu dynasty, and with his mighty arms, he kills everything inauspicious, as well as every man who is impious. By his presence, he destroys all things inauspicious for all living entities moving in and out. His blissful smiling face always increases the lusty desire of the gopis of Vrindavan. May he be all glorious and happy. Srimad Bhagavatam. And then Lord saying, Naham Vipro Nachanarpati Napidesha Shutro Naham Bani Nachagrapati Navanastriyatirva Kintu Padoyan Nikupar Mananda Purna Mitapate Gohi Vatapad Kamale. I'm not a Brahmana, I'm not a Kshatriya, I'm just Das, Gopi Bhaktirupat from there, Das, like Uddhava. There's a great separation of gopis for Krishna. And Uddhava was very much Uddhava Suddha Bhuyo. Uddhava Suddha Bhuyo. So Uddhava had gone to give the transcendental knowledge to the gopis. But gopis gave the knowledge of bhakti to Uddhava. Seeing their love, the love of gopis, Uddhava, who is being disciple of Brahaspati, he wanted to take dust from the feet of the gopis. But gopis were so humble that they won't give their dust. See, sannyasis may give you dust, but if you ask some Rasa devotees, Prabhu, please give your dust, they will not like to give. So gopis, they were very, very humble, but they were very exalted devotees. They were very exalted devotees. Now Uddhava cannot say, please give me your dust. So to take their dust, Uddhava wanted to become a creeper. Uddhava wanted to become a creeper in the ground, to take the dust of the gopis. So that is their devotion there. And now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's ecstatic dancing began. So much so, the earth tilted. 8 ecstatic symptoms. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started rolling on the ground like a golden mountain. And Nityananda Prabhu tried to catch running Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And 3 circles for crowd control were there. Crowd control was there. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was dancing, there was 3 circles for providing crowd jumping in. Otherwise, everybody would have come. So one pastime also happened that Harichandan was holding the. So what is happening? The Thakur was dancing, but it was blocking the way of Pratap Rudra seeing Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Harichandan, who was minister of Pratap Rudra, wanted to say Srivas Thakur, please move aside. Our king's vision is getting blocked. But Srivas Thakur gave him jhapad. He was in ecstasy, he disturbed him, there. So he gave a jhapad. And Harichandan was agitated. But king said, Aho Bhagyavan, such a great fortune you got. I don't get this. Jhapad of a devotee there. So how did King Pratap Rudra valued Lord's mercy? Even mercy of a jhapad of a devotee he Very good. नित्य विशेषी निवास किछु न जाने बारह बारह थे लेते नो क्रोध में absorbed in watching Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dance, Srivas Thakur could not understand why he was being touched and pushed. After he was pushed again and again, he became angry. चापड़ा मारी गया तारे कोयला दीवारा चापड़ा खाया कुदा भजा हरिचंदन. Srivas Thakur slapped Harichandan to stop him from pushing him. In turn, this made Harichandan angry. Patanjali said, भाग्यवान तुम्ही इनार हस्त स्पर्श पाहिला. हमारा भाग्य नाही तुम्ही कृतार्थ होता. It's not my bhagya. You are bhagyavan. Did you get chapel from Shivas? Now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's dancing center. Here stood on hand. Body like a simulatory with thorns. Complexion like white to pink Malika flower. Teeth chatters. Skin goose pimples. You know, goose pimples come. Boom. Then perspiration, ooze blood. Jaga, jaga, jaga. Legs and hand. Like hard dry food. Breathing small. Tears were coming like syringes. Like we cry, tears come like this. But when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu cries, tears come like this. Syringes. There. Water, from eyes, water was coming. From nostrils, foam fell. From nostrils and eyes, water was coming. Foam was coming from the mouth. And one devotee came and drank that foam, which is coming from the mouth of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performed devastating dance, mind entering into a mode of ecstatic love. And then he ordered Swarup Damodar to sing. And what is singing? And he's saying, Saite Parana Nato Painu, Yatha Nagi Madana Damne Juri Vinu. Now I have gained the Lord of my life. In the absence of whom I was being burnt by Kuprit, he was withering. Now, Lord was singing all this song, which looked like a songs of like a duet songs. It looked like a sing. Ya Kumar Harasa Evi Varasta Ev Chetra Shapas Taja Unnidita Malati Saurabhya Prodakadam Banala Sajevan Shami Tathapi Tatsuradvyapara Leela Vidham Reva Rodasi Vedasi Tarutale Cheta Samutkantate. That very personality who stole away my heart during my youth is now again my master. These are the same moonlight nights of the month of Chaitra, the same fragrance of Malti flowers is there, and the same sweet breezes are blowing from the Kadamba forest. In our intimate relationship, I am also the same lover, yet still my mind is not happy here. I'm eager to go back to that place on the bank of the river under the Vesi tree. That's my desire. ए श्लोका महाप्रभु पढ़े बार बार स्वरूप बिना अर्थ कह ना जाने यार. This verse was recited by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again and again, but for Swarup Damodar, no one could understand its meaning. And who could understand its meaning? Srila Rupa Goswami. So Rupa Goswami, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was singing like this, Rupa Goswami went and actually wrote it what it means. So that for a newcomer, it may look like a duet song, you know, what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is singing, you know, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in mode of Srimati Radharani. So just when Krishna went away from Vrindavan, Srimati Radharani was in great separation. In the same way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was feeling separation from Lord Jagannath. The Jagannath is there, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in that mood that we are carrying Jagannath to Vrindavan. And he's in that mood that Lord, I'm not, you are the same personality. See that this is Madhuri Rasa, which looks like a conjugal rasa of the material world, but it is completely pure. There is no tinge of material tint as the relationships in this world. Otherwise, why a brahmachari like Sukhdev Goswami will be glorifying this pastimes? There. And like this way, Rath Yatra happened. Although we view same, our mind is still attracted to Vrindavan Dham. I wish that you will please again appear with your lotus feet in Vrindavan. In Kurukshetra, there are crowds of people, elephants and horses, also riding chariots. But in Vrindavan, there are flower gardens, and the humming of the bees and chirping of the birds can be heard. Here at Kurukshetra, you are dressed like a royal prince, accompanied by great warriors. But in Vrindavan, you appear just like an ordinary cowherd boy, accompanied only by your beautiful lady. Here, there is not even a drop of the ocean transcendental happiness that I enjoy with you in Vrindavan. And therefore request you to. So bodily conception is created by the desire for material enjoyment. So this is all Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's song in the mood of Rath Yatra, bringing Lord to Vrindavan. So this is the mood of Rath Yatra. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not ecstasy. And then afterwards the lunch happened, and then the break after break, they were trying to pull the cart. All good elephants came, still the cart did not move. But then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Oh, devotees, you pull the cart." And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went behind, touched the cart, then the cart started moving. Just think, what elephants can pull can 1,000 men together put the effort what elephants can pull. So elephants could not pull the cart, but devotees do. Devotees pulled because Lord wanted devotees to pull the cart. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to push behind. And that's what Lord Jagannath Yatra is successful. So we'll see the any question is there? Guraj, you had a question? I think it's not. Okay. So yeah. Yeah. So we'll see the meaning of Jagannath Ashtakam, and then we'll sing Jagannath Ashtakam for the pleasure of Lord. Anybody who want to volunteer for singing Jagannath Ashtakam? Kadachit kalindi. No, we'll sing later. This. So Lord, Kadachit kalindi tata vipina sangita ko. So Kavi, when Lord Kalindi tata means okay, so कदाचित कालिंदी तटा विपिन संगीतको मुदा मेरी नारी वदना kamla sa Lord, whom you are enjoying pleasure at the bank of Yamuna with all the Brajvasis. There, you are doing wonderful pastime. Vipina Sangitako Rama. Rama Shambhu Brahma Amarapati Ganeshashit Pado. So Rama is Lakshmi, Shambhu Shiva, Brahma ji, all the Devata, Amarpati, you are Amarpati, who are called Amara? Devas. You are called Amar, but you are Amarpati. Ganesha, even Lord Ganesha is worshipping my Lord. Jagannath Swami, Nayanpatgami, Bhavatu. Or Lord Jagannath, you become the object of my vision. Bhuje Sabve Venu, Sirashi Chikki Pucham Katitate. So you're taking your hands the flute, and there is a kati, shikki pucham kati tate, the peacock feather on your foot. Dukulam netrante sahacharam kataksham vidate. With your two eyes, you're showing mercy, my Lord. Dukulam netrantam sahachara. Kataksh, glance, vidate. Sadash, and you are always residing in Vrindavan. Sada Vrindavan Vasati Lila Parichayo. So Jagannath is always doing pastimes in Vrindavan. The Jagannath Swami Nayanpatgami Bhavatu. Actually, when you sing with the meaning, it is very sweet, the meaning of Jagannath Ashtakam. Mahamudre Tire. Mahamudre Tire. Ambu. Ocean. Tire, and the bank of ocean. Kanakaruchire Nila Shikhare. You are on the Nilachal Parvat. Kanakaruchire. Kanak is golden, looks golden hue. Vasant Prasandanta Sahaja. So you are sitting there with your brother Saha Aja. Aja means brother, elder brother. Balabhadrena Balina, a great, powerful Balana. Subhadra Madhyastha, and Subhadra Devi is in between. Sakala Sur Seva Apsara, even demigods are rendering service to you, my Lord. Jagannath Swami Nayanpatgami Bhavatu. So Kripa Paravara Sajana Jalana Sheni Ruchira. Rama Vani Rama Kripa Para Varaha. Rama Vani Rama Spura Kaman Pankiruka Mukha. Your face is very, very soothing, my Lord. Yeah. So this is the Kripa Paravara Sajala Jalan. The Lord Jagannath is the ocean of mercy. And as beautiful as a row of blackish rain clouds, he is a storehouse of bliss for Lakshmi and Saraswati, and his face resembles a spotless full-blown lotus. So this Kripa Paravara, we were reading. So Kripa Paravara Sajala Jala Shin, just like the rows of black clouds are there. So like that, Lord Jagannath is ocean of mercy and the source of bliss for Rama and Ramaha. Rama is Pura Damal Pankaj, Lord's Mukha, Amala Pankaruka Mukha. So in Surendra, you're the object of worship for the demigods. Shruti Gana Shikha Gita Garichar, and they sing from Vedic hymns about you. Oh Lord, please be object of my visit, Jagannath Swami. Then Ratha Runo Gachanpati. Lord, you go into the Ratha. Pati Milite Bhudev Patale. So who is Bhudev Patale? So there is Nardev, there is Bhudev. King is called Nardev. And Brahmanas are called Bhudev. So when the Brahmanas are chanting, Stuti Pradur Bhava, from the Vedic chants they are doing, and you go on to your Ratha, my Lord. Pratipadam Upkarnya Satya. Daya Sindhu Bandhu. O Lord, you are Daya Sindhu. You are Bandhu. Sakala Jagatam Sindhu Sutaya. Sutaya. Lord, you are the one to take care of the Dalit people. Jagannath Swami Nayanpat Gami. Para Brahma Pilo. You are, my Lord, Param Brahma Pila. Yeah, once again. Lord Jagannath, whose eyes resemble full-blown lotus petal, is the ornament on Lord Brahma's head. He resides on Nilachal hill with his lotus feet placed on the heads of Anantadev. Overwhelmed by the mallows of love, he joyfully embraces Srimati Radharani. May that Jagannath Swami be the object of my visit. And then he prays for Na vai yache rajyam. Lord, I don't ask for a kingdom, neither I ask for gold, neither for any opulences, neither I want association of beautiful women. I just sada kale kale. Sada kale kale pramatta patina ki charita. I only want to always sing your glories, my Lord, moment after moment. Jagannath Swami Nayanpargami Gautame. O Lord, haratam sansaram duttaram asaram surpate. O Lord, you take away our sansara, haratam papana, and take away all the papa, because you are Yadapate. Aho dine nate nihita charnam nishipamidam. O Lord, I just surrender unto your lotus feet. So Jagannath Ashtakam Punyam ya pathet karyata suchi. Sarva papa vishuddhatma Vishnu lokam sa gachati. So one who sings this Jagannath Ashtakam, what happens? Sarva papa vishuddhatma. All his papa goes away, and what happens? Vishnu lokam sa gachati. So how many want to sing Jagannath Ashtakam? Does anybody want to leave some very sweet voice with tunes Jagannath Ashtakam? Anybody wants to lead? Prashant? Tune. Prashant.